Thank you for this is the Wednesday, October 1st council meeting. Before I call the meeting to order, we have a public hearing for the transfer of liquor license R-16428 from 760 West Main Street, Mount Pleasant, PA, 15666 to 4869 William Penn Highway, Suite 4869, Murraysville, PA, 15668.
If the applicant is here, I can get things started, and certainly they will be able to add in additional information. This is for the former Atria's restaurant here in Murraysville. The request came in, I think, late last week. We were able to fit it in onto the agenda for a public hearing. If the item will be considered by resolution at the next council meeting for October 14th, I believe it will be, and I can turn it over to the applicant for further information.
Thanks, Michael. My name's Charlie Caputo. I'm counsel for the applicant Primo Murray LLC. I have with me Mark Horowitz. He is one of the owners, part of the ownership group. And I just wanted to sort of explain briefly what the type of business will be that will be operated here at this location and what exactly it is we're trying to do. The applicant's name is Primo Murray LLC. That's a privately owned Pennsylvania limited liability company. Mark is one of the owners. There are several owners and ownership group. This is a small regional chain that they've developed here in western Pennsylvania. The name of the business will be Pizzaiolo Primo. The first one was opened in Market Square right out of COVID around 2021. And they opened one a couple years ago in South Fayette. That was their second location. This will be the third location.
Correct.
Right? Okay. The precise location is the former Atria space. They're going to take over that restaurant premise, occupy the same footprint that Atria's had. The type of business will be a little bit different. I brought a menu. This is actually their menu from South Fayette, which will be very similar to the menu that will be out here. But it's more of an upscale, authentic Italian experience, homemade brick oven pizzas and different types of pasta dishes and salads. And, you know, having a liquor license, although the focus of the business is certainly on food, they do need to have a license to be able to offer a drink as a complement to the meal. They do offer beer, wine, spirits, different types of spritzers and after-dinner drinks at their other locations, and they would like to do that here as well to give the customer the full experience. So we were unable to find a license in Murraysville. We went through a couple different brokers. We were able to identify this one that was in Mount Pleasant. It was available for sale. This is an arm's length transaction. There's no affiliation between Primo Murray and the former owner of the license. They're purchasing it at fair market value and transferring it to this location. Under the liquor code, when you do cross municipal borders, I'm sure you folks have seen before, you have to have this public hearing to receive comments from residents about the transfer, and a copy of a resolution from the township must accompany our application to the Liquor Control Board. In terms of hours of operation, the business isn't open yet, so it is a bit fluid, but based upon the other locations, we're looking at Monday, Tuesday, Thursday from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 11 a.m. until 10 o'clock p.m., and Sunday from 11 a.m. until 8 o'clock p.m. So they will be open for lunch and dinner, but it's not necessarily a late night establishment. So we're hoping that we can get an approval in this resolution for the liquor license transfer, and that this business can open and become a popular dining spot for residents and from people from outside the community. The typical transfer time with the Liquor Control Board is about 8 to 12 weeks, and that clock starts to run once we get a resolution in favor from the municipality. And they're hoping to be open early next year, I think, is the goal. So with that, I'd like to hand out these menus, and I'm happy to answer any questions that.
Next time, definitely. We'll have to have you guys come down.
We'll take you up on that. I do have a question. Do you allow for BYOB?
Yes, we always do. But we'll have a full cocktail menu, full bar, usual. You can go on our website, thepizzaoprimo.com, if you want to check out what we do.
Thanks.
You don't sell beer to go.
Not beer to go, no. More wine to go.
If you don't mind, please use that.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
You're asking- that's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah, sure. Yep. Or I can come up here.
I need to turn on my mic.
Either way.
So- Will there also, you had said, obviously, you offer spirits and everything. Well, Atria's had a bar. Is this something that you're going to offer, or is it just restaurant dine-in only?
It's both. The bar is,
Small?
yeah, I mean, it's casual, it's in the same room. It's more of just like a formatted of structure. You know, like you would usually walk in, you'll see the dining room right there. And next to it, or very close near it, will be seats around a bar, as a back bar with all our wines back there and all our cocktails and that kind of thing. But not a separate room.
This looks good. I don't know what a lot of this food is, but it looks really good.
Delicious.
It is delicious. So.
All right. Any questions from council? So we're going to open up, if there's any public comment that is specifically on this liquor license, dealing with this, there'll be time for public comment during the meeting, regular public comment. But if anyone wants to speak on behalf of this, please step forward. Looks like nobody, so we can close the public hearing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, guys.
We have to have a motion for that.
Thanks a lot. Yeah. No problem.
All right, we'll call the regular voting meeting to order. Can I get a roll call?
Mrs. Ling,
Present.
Mr. Olszewski,
Here.
Mr. Dice, Mr. Diakopoulos,
Here.
Mr. McKenna,
Here.
Mr. Lemak,
Here.
Mr. Stepanovich, Mayor Simon.
Here. We rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That brings us to, are there any unlisted amendments, Mike, to add?
There are this evening, there will be one unlisted amendment. We would ask council to add item 13E to the agenda. This will be a resolution number 806-25, and it will be an opioid settlement resolution, similar to one that council did a couple years ago. This is for the county's opioid settlement with the pharmaceutical companies. So this will be added as item 13E. When we get to that portion of the agenda, myself or the solicitor can describe the item more thoroughly.
All right, thank you, Mike. We'll add that. That moves us on to consent calendar items. Can I get a motion for approval of the September 16th, 2025 minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All right, thank you, Jamie and Matt. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that passes. Now we'll move to comments by the mayor signing.
Thanks, Mr. McKenna. First of all, the curbside leaf collection program for 2025, the schedule's coming up here pretty quick, starting on October 25th. Remember, you have to call and schedule to get a pickup, because if they don't have any calls, they'll skip that street. There's a 20-bag limit for each collection date. The deadline to sign up is the Thursday before the pickup date. Just to repeat, the first date's October 25th. Next, we are hiring a full-time skilled laborer with our Public Works Department. For more information, please go to the website. Municipality of Murraysville is an equal opportunity employer and does not discriminate in its recruitment or employment on the basis of race, religion, age, sex, or sexual preference, political affiliation, or physical handicap. The website's www.murraysville.com. Next up, we have the Trick or Treat on the Trail, which is on October 25th, sponsored by the Murraysville Recreation Department. Register your business or organization to pass out treats for the kids and have fun. You have to register, again, at Murraysville. It's murraysvilleparecreation.com, or call here at extension 131, or email momrecreation@murraysville.com. Remember, you have to register ahead of time, because if not, we will run out of treats. Lastly, the Trick or Treat on the Trail new location this year is going to be the Murraysville Community Park. Join us for trick or treating with more than 50 community businesses and organizations at the community park, October 25th, 12 to 2, while supplies last. That concludes my announcement.
All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Move on to comments by the Chief Administrator. Mike?
Sure. I do have a few updates for council. Just to be aware that the Public Works Department will begin its crack seal program starting now until weather prohibits that. There are a number of roads on the list, including parts of School Road, Meadowbrook, Windover, Hills Church, Tar Hollow. So a lot of major roads, as well as a lot of other minor and arterial roads. So that program will be starting by the Public Works Department and lasting until the weather, as long as the weather allows. Another update from the Public Works Department, the Chambers Park tennis court replacement will now occur in early spring. They are still continuing to do work out there at the park and on the tennis court itself, but they were not able to get the project out to bid this fall. And so because of the timing and the weather, they felt it would be best to do that project at the beginning of spring to have the best results for the new tennis court that's going on at Chambers. So they are still doing work out there, but the actual replacement of the court itself won't occur until the spring. We've been getting quite a few calls as it relates to the intersection at 286 and 380, the new traffic signal up there. We want to make the community aware that there are still a few items that have to take place at that intersection before it turns into its final product. And some of those issues are probably what we deem as some of the causes for the confusion at the intersection. Right now, just to give a full update, we are waiting for West Penn Power to drop the electric there at what will be the permanent signal heads. Once that occurs, then the only other item outstanding will be waiting for the pole delivery. Once they deliver the pole, they think it will happen sometime within the next month or so. They will get to the final configuration within roughly 2 months is the estimate. We did go through that intersection today with the engineering department. Some of the issues relate to the placement of the signal head, the temporary configuration. It's misleading drivers a little bit. So we did talk to the contractor that is doing that project, and hopefully they are going to try to rectify that, I think sometime next week, and move the signal head over a little bit. It's creating some confusion with the pass-through lane and the turning lane there. So again, that's kind of an ongoing project, a little bit out of our hands, but nonetheless, we do think that some of the temporary measures and also the permanent configuration should straighten things out at that intersection and allow it to work as it is designed when it's finally completed. Another update, SAI Consulting Engineers completed their latest bridge inspection of the Logan Ferry Road Bridge over Haymaker Run. That's the one near the Murraysville Volunteer Fire Company. The load rating for that bridge was reduced. The study was done on August 21st. They found additional deterioration, and so they have to decrease the weight limit from 18 tons, except combination 23 tons, to 13 tons, except combination 17 tons. So the Public Works Department ordered the signs. They will be placed after they are, after we receive them. But this bridge, as we know, is something we've applied for grants for. We do recognize that it is a project that we will have to address sometime here in the near future, and the continued reduction of the load ratings at this and other bridges is obviously something that we have to address. So more to come on that, but just wanted to make council aware that the latest engineering inspection did come back and reduce the load rating. Lastly, just another issue with signals. As the community was aware, there were ongoing issues at Manor Mellon Road and Route 22. We think that that intersection is now finally back to its proper configuration. We estimate that it's kind of working at 90% capacity, but you probably wouldn't be able to tell that. It seems like it's running at full capacity. Once they did the signal box replacement, there were still some lingering issues, and so some of the community had some issues commuting through that intersection about a week ago over the weekend. But we were just waiting for the final pieces of the puzzle to be put together. The traffic signal contractor did get back out there early last week, and I think they got everything running as far as the signal goes and the adaptive system that ties into it. So again, we recognize there were some issues and some frustration there from the community. We tried everything we could do to get that signal repaired timely and not have the issues that it had, but ultimately, the damage that was caused to the signal box prevented some of the repair from taking place in a single day. It took basically 2 or 3 days to get that completed. So it is functioning now at almost full capacity, and I don't think that travelers will notice that it's at 90%, and they will be back out there to hook up the remaining components and have the intersection functioning at full capacity here sometime late this week or early next week. So that is all for the Chief Administrator comments.
All right, great, thanks, Mike. That moves us on to community input. Now, do we have any takers? Nothing. For the good of the order, does anyone want to speak for community input that didn't sign up? All right. That moves us on to liaison comments and committee reports. We'll start down with Eli.
Nothing to report on a pension. Yeah.
Same. Meeting was canceled this week. No new items.
Next Planning Commission is Tuesday, October 7th, right here.
Jason?
And the last library meeting was canceled due to lack of quorum.
All right, not a lot of liaison committee reports. The Parks and Recreation, just they're working hard on the Halloween stuff, and the mayor already went through all that, so that's the big thing going on. Just if they're going to do the trick or treat on trail, make sure you sign up, either business or community, because that fills up fast. All right, that takes us on to workshop items. Administration, nothing. Engineering, nothing. We'll go to 13, administration, council action items.
I'd like to make a motion to advertise to accept nominations for the Murraysville Council Volunteer of the Year.
Second.
Thank you, Jason and Jamie. Mike?
Not much to report here. We're just going to advertise for the Volunteer of the Year and see what sort of feedback we get from the community.
Great. Any questions from council on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that motion passes. Can I get a motion for 13B, please?
Motion to advertise for various board and commission openings for the 2026 calendar year.
Second.
All right, thank you, Jamie and Matt. Mike?
Again, this is an item that we do annually, advertising the various openings. There are a handful of openings on the EAC, FTMSA, Library Board, Personnel Board, Parks and Rec, Planning Commission. So we will advertise those openings, and anybody that may be interested can certainly submit a letter of interest for those positions. The expiring terms, typically we'll reach out to those folks as well to ask if they wish to seek reappointment. We typically get a lot of support for reappointment from the various serving members. So we'll put it out for advertisement and see what sort of feedback we get.
Yeah, we appreciate everyone that does that, and hopefully we'll get some new people in there. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that motion passes. That moves us to 13C. Can I get a motion?
Yeah, motion to authorize advertisement of the public hearing to present proposed amendments for the 2025 operating budget to be held on November 5th, 2025 at 7 p.m.
Second.
All right, we'll go Eli and Jamie. Mike?
Yep, this item, again, done annually, will be to advertise for public hearing. The next, I should say, the first council meeting in November, that will be the 5th. Pursuant to Home Rule Charter, a public hearing must be held on the proposed amendments to the operating budget for this year. And there is no new millage or other taxes proposed for the pending amended budget.
All right, any questions from council? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, that motion passes. That moves us to 13D.
Motion to advertise for a public hearing to present the 2026 operating budget to be held on November 5th, 2025 at 7 p.m. Yeah, didn't we just do that one?
That was 2025.
Oh, that was 2025. What is, that's like
All right, we'll go,
Groundhog's Day. Is one of those incorrect, Michael, or are they both correct?
No, so
I think the C was incorrect, or I mean, C was correct, D was not
no,
correct.
two different items. So what we have here on item D is the 26 operating budget public
operating.
hearing. The previous one was the 25 budget amendments. So as we do annually, the last item will do the budget amendments for the current year's budget for any changes that may take place. This item that council is considering is the new operating budget for next year. And so again, we'll have a public hearing for that as well. And that information will be distributed to council pursuant to the charter. I believe it has to be distributed to council by November 1st. So finance director will work to get that distributed and prepared for council as well. So it is a distinct, separate item.
all right, so for the record, that is correct what Jamie stated, and we're going to go with Jamie and Matt as the motions. Any questions from council on the 26 operating budget? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that motion passes. That moves us to the added amendment 13E. Can I get a motion?
Is that to advertise, Michael, for the resolution?
Yes, so what it would be for council to consider is a motion to advertise Resolution 806-25. That would be the opioid settlement through Westmoreland County.
Motion to advertise resolution number 806-25, opioid settlement resolution through Westmoreland County?
You got it, thank you, I'm sorry I couldn't display.
All right, we got Jamie and Eli, thank you. Mike, you kind of explained that, but go ahead.
Sure, I'm happy to explain, and the solicitor, if you want to take over, you can. It's
Sure, thank you, Michael. It's as part of the obvious ongoing opioid epidemic, Westmoreland County joined the nationwide lawsuit through Pennsylvania Attorney General seeking to hold the opioid manufacturers responsible. We had approved a settlement a couple of years ago, I think with Walgreens, CVS, and some of the pharmacies. This one actually settles with Pharma, Purdue Pharma, which is the big one that originally developed OxyContin, and some of the secondary manufacturers. And Westmoreland County gets allocated an amount of money, and my understanding is the way that that allocation works is by the number of the municipalities that participate. And so what they do is they reach out to the individual municipalities and ask them to approve this resolution, which then bolsters the amount of the money that Westmoreland County subsequently gets awarded as the settlement. So that's why it is on your resolution. And my understanding from the Westmoreland County Solicitor's Office is they don't ask every municipality to do it. They hit the really big ones. So they've asked us, North Huntington, Hempfield, Unity, a couple of the other really big ones to participate because that really bolsters the numbers and increases the settlement allocated to Westmoreland County.
All right, thank you for that explanation, Adam. Any questions for Mike or Adam from council on that? With no questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, that motion passes. That moves us to community development. Can I get a motion for 14A, please?
I'd like to make a motion for approval of Z-1-25 Reagan Ridge rezoning concerning the rezoning of 35,987 square feet of land tax parcel 49-21-00-0-087 at the intersection of Wilson Road and Manor Road from R3 high density residential to B business.
Second.
All right, thank you, Jason and Matt. Mike?
Sure, yes. So this item was discussed at the last meeting through a public hearing. The applicant is here. I'm sure they would be willing to address council if there are questions or concerns. The item was listed on the agenda as an approval. Certainly, council has discretion over whether they choose to approve or not. This is a rezoning of a parcel, a portion of the parcel with the tax number listed there. It would be going from R3 to B business. Again, I think every council member was here at the last meeting, so you should be somewhat familiar with the request at hand. If there are any further questions, I see the applicant is here, and I'm sure they will be willing to address any questions or concerns from council. The only item of note, as indicated from the solicitor at the last council meeting, is that any change in the zoning must be done based on the request and not pursuant to the type of use that or the type of use that would occur on the property. I know there was discussion about it being potentially an activity center or a gym, but zoning it to be business does open it up to that type of a use. So certainly if there are questions from council, for myself or the solicitor, be happy to answer. And as I said, the applicant is here if there are any further questions from council.
The applicant want to step forward and do anything?
My name is Craig Fusting. I'm the developer at Reagan Ridge. I appreciate your time. I wasn't here the last meeting. I apologize, but if there's any questions that were not answered, I'm more than happy to answer this time, or maybe address any things that were maybe delivered incorrectly.
Michael, did the Planning Commission, just refresh my memory, recommend or not recommend the approval of this?
They did not. Planning Commission recommended denial of the rezoning request.
Okay.
Anything to add from, I know that that your engineer was at the last meeting, kind of went through some of that, but you know, what you're looking for, if you want to add anything.
Sure, I can point a few things out. The first thing is across the street is obviously commercial property, it's Tractor Supply, there's a car dealership. Across the other street is all commercial property, which I also own. Reagan Ridge, basically this parcel is only the front portion of it. There's plenty of a buffer between where this property would be rezoned to where the residential units sit. There's also a retention pond. There's also power lines go through there, so you never could actually break that buffer. The closest two homes that are outside of anything that's currently part of this parcel, there's a huge buffer. I encourage any of you, if you'd like to go take a look at that buffer, there's plenty of room there. The other thing I would note is I think there was some concern last time that there was supposed to be an activity center. Potential buyers of Reagan Ridge, as we have interest in those units, they're not interested in an activity center. They're basically looking for a gym. So obviously, if we want to get the project moving faster, we want to cater to what those potential buyers are looking for. I know that there's some neighbors that expressed they want the project to speed up. I couldn't agree with them 100%. I mean, I have, it doesn't benefit me whatsoever to drag the project out. I also think that from a development standpoint, if this is denied now and maybe approved later, I think it actually extends the construction process. So if I was a homeowner that was nearby, I want to have the construction completed all one time and move on and not drag it out further. I also think with changing this to a gym, our designated footprint was it's about 6,000 square foot building. It's a 2-story building. It's actually a smaller current footprint than what's there now, which is a large barn. The barn is an older barn. I would see that more of an eyesore than I would a new modern building. It takes up less space. It's also not an intrusive building that would affect the views of any of the property owners neighboring it. Yeah, I think that, the property use itself, I think it fits the, that zoning. I obviously understand that the homeowners next door want to see the project speed up, and I think this would help do that.
Any questions from anyone?
Michael, remind me why count the committee recommended.
I believe the primary reason was because during the original site plan presentation, and I'm trying to pull it up, there was discussion that the plans indicated the barn would become an activity center. And so they were kind of looking to the plans themselves and the indication on those plans. And I think they had some concerns that that may kind of pull the rug out from under the previous planning and the potential home buyers there, I guess. But that was some of the discussion at the Planning Commission meeting, was that the original plans for the full project, which I think included the area across the street there with the retail center and everything else, the corporate campus, it did indicate that this would be, as I'm looking here, and we could pull it up on the overhead, but it had listed here the item existing barn convert to an activity center. So they were kind of looking to that language as maybe the sticking point as to why they were not in favor of modifying it. There were a few other minor reasons, but ultimately I think they kind of drilled down on that as the basis. I don't know if that's a fair...
I guess, I think so. That was my take from the Planning Commission meeting. So my question is, Michael, I don't have the code up in front of me. So can you tell me, obviously an activity center is permitted for R3, right?
I believe that is a permitted use.
So can you put a treadmill in an activity center? Like what qualifies as an activity center?
Well, I'd have to kind of dive into some of the zoning here to give you a good answer on that.
Because if it is for the residents that are living there.
Yeah, that's
what
another
I'm saying
question.
is-
Is it
yeah.
the gym a public gym? Is the plan for it to be a public gym, an employee gym, a resident gym? What?
The main
I don't know.
purpose is to serve the residents in Reagan Ridge, and then also the commercial park next door. It would be to benefit the, people that work there as well. So it's more of an added amenity for the development that's going in. It was never planned for an outside community center or activity center. And in this case, I mean, really, if it's for the residents and it's for the people that work there, let's provide something they want and something they're going to use. It's actually going to encourage them to be part of that. I mean, in this case, like I've spoken with potential buyers, and they want a gym. They don't want an activity center. So I mean, it's kind of advantageous to say, well, I'm going to put this in even though we don't want it. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
So as far as I'm sorry, I'm not super familiar with the layout and everything that's going on. As I recall, somebody had mentioned, whether it's true or not, I don't know, so that's why I'm going to ask you, if there is space, area, square footage to put a gym on the property with the businesses in that part.
I mean, the commercial park across the street? Mm-hmm. I mean, there's
It's
a
already
large-
zoned that could,
Yeah, there's a large parcel there. So we have a lot of different potential partners that want to lease or buy in there. But at the same time, I mean, this is really for Reagan Ridge is the first phase that's going in. It's been approved. It's, for a homeowner, it's easy. We basically put in walking paths and things of that nature between the homes and actually where the gym would go. They could literally just walk right to the gym. I mean, technically they have to drive across the street. And yes, you could squeeze it in somewhere else. But it also depends on what other partners are involved as far as tenants or potential buyers go.
so having a gym there was not the original intent. Is that what I'm gleaning from what you're saying?
Yeah, originally we just put in basically an activity center because we really didn't know what the residents were going to look for. Some places have putting greens, some places have, a pool, some people have activity centers. So we were using it more as tagging something for the residents to help bring a benefit and also attract potential buyers.
So in regards to, not even just specifically to this one, but in other rezoning things that we've dealt with, the risk to the municipality, Mike, and if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but is the fact that once we rezone this, if they decided, never mind, and sell it, it could be anything, right? A hotel, a McDonald's, once it's Zone B, correct?
Yeah, I
That's
mean,
the
yes,
risk
you could
to
make
the residents.
That's the discussion that we have anytime these rezoning requests come up. Once you rezone it to a particular type of district, then the uses that are permitted or conditioned in that district apply. So again, being B business, anything that's permitted in a B business district could go in there, whether now or in the future. And so that is part of the analysis, yes.
So I have one more question. I'm sorry. So what you're saying is if this were to be rezoned and a gym were to be built there, your employees would have to either drive across or walk across Manor Road? Wilson Road, sorry, Wilson Road.
Well, it's across the street, yes, but the first focus is the residents of Reagan Ridge, and we have walking paths that go from the homes right to the gym. So that's our primary focus. It's the homeowners.
Right, but if you open it up to the employees, they will be walking across Wilson Road or driving.
There's a parking lot there, they can drive across the road as well.
Okay.
And the one thing I did want to make a comment is, as far as other commercial buildings that can go in there, there's only limited space that we're actually to rezone. So like I said, the footprint is only a 3,000 square foot footprint, and it's going 2 stories. There's very limited things you can put into a 3,000 square foot building, not to mention the parking is limited as well. So it's fine as far as the gym goes, but if you want to put something larger in there, if the property was ever sold, it's still going to be restricted upon what can go in there based off of the parking allowance.
You're talking 35,000 square feet, which is a large yard, not even an acre.
Yeah, the variance for the allowance for the parking, we have it maxed out in the corner, and it doesn't interfere with any other projects. You really couldn't put anything larger in there. So it actually reduces the building footprint of the current space.
How many parking spots would you need there?
I don't have it with me, but we had, you have the, maybe like 20 parking spaces. I mean, again, there's 18 units in Reagan Ridge, so it's primarily first for the homeowners, so you don't need a whole lot of parking, not to mention they're going to walk down anyways, I would think. If you're going to go to the gym, why wouldn't you walk 50 yards and do the gym instead of driving to it?
But if you open it up to your employees, how many employees do you have over there?
Well, currently, the employees we have, referencing to other companies, or?
No, that would be walking across or driving across the street to use the facility.
At this time, we don't have, I can't answer that question because we're not solid on which companies are going in there. We have different potential partners that are looking at leasing space, so until I have a final lease, I can't really answer that question.
Do you have an estimate based upon the parking that you're putting in?
Well, right now, we're basing the parking off of the square footage, and there's only, is it 20 parking spaces?
Trying to pull it up here as well.
I think your question is more related to across the street on the commercial.
Across the street to the commercial facilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our intention is not to have people walking across the street. Again, this is...
That would be very dangerous, I think, on that road, to have people walking across that street to the gym.
I agree, and again, I'm not really focusing on the commercial side. I'm focusing on this. This is first and foremost for the residents of Reagan Ridge. It's no different than having a pool or a putting green associated with a new community.
So I guess in my mind, I'm thinking, why not just put the activity center there with a treadmill or a couple things, whatever gym equipment that they could use, and then put a different facility that's less dangerous for your employees over where it's already zoned for that?
Well, again, the units that are buildings that go in on the corporate side or the executive side, I'm not building all those buildings myself. They're not all for my employees. So I can't really say what another company is going to do. They could put a corporate gym in for their own business, wherever it's in. I can only speak for what I'm building out now, which is the residential piece.
Okay, but this proposed gym would not be open to anyone other than people from Reagan Ridge and people from the industrial park across the street?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
But I guess I'm just thinking about other developments. When they have a gym, isn't that zoned residential, and they place a gym as part of their residential, like right next door at Westmoreland Farms? They have a pool, they have a rec center or a fitness center. Is that zoned residential?
That's what I don't know. Yeah, that's what I'm not.
I don't understand.
So some typically basically have, an additional amenity that's attached to the plan. In this case, what my concept is, yes, I want to put a gym in there, but again, let's say that there was a chiropractor's office there. That's to basically help support and pay for that building. If you just put in a brand-new two-story building gym, there has to be some way to fund that. So in this case, it's only, it's at 3,000 square foot as far as the footprint goes, but you still could have a chiropractor or a sports medicine office there with the gym, so it basically offsets that cost. If we put in an activity center, you could put a gym in there, but then it's basically just, it's going to have to all come out of the pockets of all the residents that are there. And for you put in a two-story gym for 18 units, it
Yeah.
might be cost efficient.
So it's rental space at the same time.
To offset the cost of the gym. But again, my plan would have to be something related, whether it's a physician office or it's a chiropractor's office, sports medicine, something of that nature that ties to the gym.
Just to kind of fill in maybe some of the blanks there. It appears, and as we know, sometimes our zoning ordinance doesn't always specify the types of uses, so we look at comparables. But in an R3 district, to put in an activity center or I guess a gym associated with the existing development on the parcel, it would probably be an accessory use. The distinction here may be that they are two different parcels where Reagan Ridge is versus this existing parcel. And unfortunately, as it comes to recreation, membership club might be the closest one. It doesn't, it's a conditional use in the other R districts, but R3 it's silent. So again, that's where we run into some of the nuances and difficulties with our zoning ordinance. So there's not a clear and direct answer as to how that use applies under the R3. But it is pretty clear under the B district that that would fit. And that's kind of, I think, the reason why the application came in.
And so the question at hand is kind of, we think that a gym for the residents of Reagan Ridge is possible with it being zoned residential, a private, only for that community, not an open gym to the public. The question at hand is, right, is that are we rezoning it, which, opens up the potential for any business to go in there. Obviously, I understand why the applicant's saying that. It's, to offset cost of that gym, but is that so that's kind of the...
If I'm understanding, I think the issue would be that this is a separate parcel. I'm looking right now, and I mean, you can correct me. This is a separate parcel from Reagan Ridge.
It would be. So it's all zoned R3 currently, so just that portion we rezone, the rest of it would stay R3.
Yes, but so
Are those two separate
to create
parcels?
an accessory use,
But those two parcels could be combined since they're both R3?
sure, that's a possibility. There could be a
solve it.
lot consolidation.
Sure.
Again, to allow an accessory use to a primary use. So but again, that's, one way or the other, something would have to occur to kind of allow it to maneuver into place.
Yeah.
Accessory use.
Yeah.
Since it's a separate parcel. I agree with Mr. Matesco that, Brian Almeida with Farringer McCarty Gray. It is a separate parcel, and I think in other developments that I think you're leaning toward maybe more like the apartment complex behind the Sheets, where it was one parcel of ground and the community center was there for that community only. In this case, no, it's a separate parcel and being requested to be zoned B to allow both the residents of Reagan Ridge and the adjoining properties to use that.
Brian, I don't want to be mistaken here. You guys can correct me, but I had an impression that it was two separate parcels, but this is showing one.
It is, and the reason for that is hasn't been a lot sold in that subdivision, so the GIS map doesn't get updated until the deed, first deed gets filed.
That makes more sense. Okay, that's why I had the original suspicion.
Yeah, we
Okay.
have it is a recorded separate parcel.
Got it. That's kind of what I thought. Okay. I just wanted to be sure I was giving correct information. So that's kind of the difficulty that the applicant is facing. Because it's a separate parcel, it can't be an accessory standalone use. It has to be accessory to something else, a primary use, which would be the homes that are being built there. But but it's separate, so I think that's the impetus for the rezoning then, because it can be a standalone facility, gym or activity center or whatever it may be.
Any other questions for the applicant or any questions from council at all? All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
We do roll call vote?
Yeah, you do have a motion and a second for approval, so.
Rudell, we'll do a roll call vote.
Mrs. Ling,
No.
Mr. Olszewski,
No.
Mr. Diakopoulos,
No.
Mr. McKenna,
No.
Mr. Lemak,
Yes.
Mr. Stepanovich.
No, he's not here. All right, so the motion is denied 4-1. That moves us to 14B. Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve, motion for approval of SP-4-25 SCE Corporation Expansion Land Development concerning the construction of a 7,768 square foot building expansion for the manufacturing of potassium superoxide on tax parcels 49-21-00-0-085 and 49-21-00-0-075. 1001 Corporate Lane containing 5.235 acres and zoned B business.
I'll second it.
All right, thank you, Jamie and Eli. Mike?
Yes, so this item comes in as a submission for a preliminary and final land development application for the tax parcels that were just named on Corporate Lane, which is actually kind of across Route 22 from the area we were just discussing. That area is Zone B business. They are requesting to expand a portion of the existing facility. It would expand over top of the existing impervious surface. They presented at the Planning Commission meeting on what type of work would be done inside of the building. They'd be producing a specific item that they use in the manufacture of their products. I believe the applicant is here. They could certainly speak to that. And the only requested waivers are for landscaping and buffering, and that is because there's no new impervious surface being created. The Planning Commission and staff did review the application, and they did recommend approval with a few conditions, the typical ones that we see from FTMSA, conservation, planning module, and those sort of items. And we're also willing to consider the waiver of the landscaping and buffering requirements. So the applicant is here and can answer any further questions.
I thought this was pretty cool because I think there are only a few facilities, right, that actually produce this. So Murraysville would be home to one of the very few facilities that produce this.
Oh, you can.
Please.
Actually be the only one in the
Please
United
state
States.
your name for the record.
Tom Johnson, President, CSE Corporation.
Okay.
It would actually be the only one in the United States.
Right. So that would be, it's pretty cool. It is an explosive element, but I did ask, and they are taking safety precautions. The engineers that you're bringing in.
Yeah.
If you could explain that a little bit.
Sure. So very briefly, potassium superoxide is a oxygen-generating chemical. We use it in our self-contained self-rescuers that we provide to underground mining and underground tunneling construction operations around the world. The device is designed, the potassium superoxide is designed to react with the moisture in your breath and generate oxygen for sustaining life in immediately dangerous to life and health environments. How that gets manufactured is utilizing potassium and metal. Potassium metal is something that we would actually procure here in the greater Pittsburgh area from Ascensus Specialty Materials. There are precautions to take with reacting potassium metal. Who we hired creative engineers out of New Freedom, Pennsylvania, who are industry experts in alkali chemistry, alkali safety. They worked with myself and the rest of the team behind me in designing the process equipment to make sure it's safe for our operators and safe for our communities to do.
The one question I did pose at Planning Commission, and maybe you can speak to that, is the fact that the building, I believe, is attached?
It actually is not attached.
It's
There
not
is a-
now?
There
I
is a
thought
firewall designed to it,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
My name's Dennis O'Hara. I'm with Guardian Construction. The building was never designed to be attached. It's going to be separated with about a 10-foot space in between the existing and the new. The new building is going to be a simple pre-engineered metal building, but the one thing that we're designing into it is a 3-hour firewall. It's 8-inch masonry block, reinforced vertical and horizontal, fully grouted. And that wall is built on the outboard side of the new building, not attached. So it's a completely standing wall, so if something would happen, God forbid, and the new building would burn, that wall would stay in place and protect the other, and vice versa for the other side. We've been seeing a lot of these in construction now, using compartmentability and things like that. So that's how the engineers put the proposed structure together.
Where's the location of this, Mike?
This is on Corporate Lane, so this is in the, I guess, the industrial park, kind of across from the area we were just talking about, off of Manor Mellon.
Manor Mellon, okay. Any questions from council for the applicant or Mike?
Do you have any water, do you have to treat any water treatment as part of this chemical process?
There would be some. There is an air emission scrubber that has some water associated with it. In the course of normal operations, there would be a weekly and daily wash down of the process equipment. We actually had met with Bob Schwarmer of the municipality. What would transpire there is you would collect that water when you are cleaning up something like potassium superoxide. Essentially what you get is a bit of a high pH wastewater stream. So we would collect that, neutralize it, and discharge it under permit guidelines issued by the municipality.
Okay. You already do that?
We don't do that today. That would be something that we would have to achieve and get the permit from the municipality for.
Okay.
Does the building that houses this, is there different types of fire suppression codes for that, like other?
There's specific ones to potassium metal. That would be specific to a very small holding tank that we would use for the potassium metal. Other than that, it's actually just a dry system. It would not be charged with water, but in the event of a fire, then there would be suppression systems that would kick into place.
So is there manufacturing going on, or is there employees?
There would be manufacturing going on. We would utilize about 5 to 6 new employees in the process. Currently, we hire 69 people.
69, you said?
And this is it sold to like mine safety? Is that?
So the product itself in this application is what we refer to as a closed, self-contained self-rescuer. It is a product that is governed by NIOSH in the United States, so it has to be NIOSH approved within the United States, and then it has approvals around the world depending on the country that we're selling to. In the United States, every miner underground is one of our revenue streams are required to wear one of these devices. It can be ours, it can be one of our competitors, somebody that you might be familiar with as far as our competitor who utilizes the same technology of potassium superoxide would be companies like Dräger and MSA.
Okay.
So when you make a sale, how do you transport it to your end customer?
It's over the road within the United States and Canada and Mexico. We usually overseas will fly it either FedEx, or we have what's called a DOT EX approval number to ship it on non-commercial aircrafts.
But it is stable.
It is stable, yes. Potassium superoxide itself is very stable. The key to it is keeping it sealed. If I were to put it on the table, all you would see is what yellow granules will start to turn a little bit of brown. That's because it's reacting with the moisture and it's starting to generate oxygen.
Very cool.
What kind of revenues do you drive with this?
It's family-owned business, and our revenues are usually right in the 20 to 30 million range on an annual basis. We have most of it coming from this particular product line, the KO2 generated self-rescuers. We also manufacture gas detection systems handheld gas detection, fixed gas detection, so you can put the fixed gas detection on mining equipment, on tunneling boring machines. It's designed to sense methane in flammable environments and intrinsically shut down product safety and flammability concerns. The gas detection is regulated and approved by MSHA. The breathing devices are regulated and approved by NIOSH. We also have a 4-hour rescue pack. It's an oxygen-generated closed-circuit rescue pack that is utilized by underground mining rescue teams around the world, United States fire departments, hazardous material response agencies, things of that nature.
Thank you.
All right, any last minute questions? All right, thank you so much.
you.
Appreciate it. All right, that moves us to vote. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? All right, that motion passes. Can I get a motion for 14C, our final item?
I'd like to make a motion for approval of SP-5-25 MAWC water tower concerning the installation of a 2.4 million gallon potable water storage tank on tax parcel 49-14-00-0-128-1189 Lines Run Road containing 4 acres and zoned RR rural residential.
Second.
Thank you, Jason and Jamie. Mike?
Yes, so this is for the installation of an adjacent tank to the existing 5 million gallon tank. It is in the RR district, but considered an essential service. The applicant, MAWC, plans to do as presented at the Planning Commission meeting, they plan to do a 3-month or roughly 3-month rehab on the existing concrete tank that was constructed in 1980. And as such, they will be installing this tank in the interim, and then I believe using both tanks as they move forward. So both will remain in service. They asked for 2 waivers, a landscape, for the landscape architect seal drawings, and also on the amenities bond due to the existing performance bond exceeding the amount that the amenities bond would be. And so the applicant is here to address or answer any questions for council.
My name is Chris Wharton. I'm with Gibson Thomas Engineering here representing MAWC. As he mentioned, we're going to be putting a new 2.4 million gallon tank on the existing site. The reason being is the existing 5 million was constructed in 1980. It is in need of some rehab. It's going to be taken down for approximately 3 to 4 months for concrete spalling repair, interior cleaning, new waterproofing. With that said, that is a lot of storage for their system. Taking out 5 million gallons in this area, that leaves you vulnerable to having no fire protection for that time being. Also, if there's a leak in a portion of the system, there's portions of the system that could be out of water. So what MAWC is proposing is to install a new, slightly smaller tank on the site, take down the existing tank to do the rehab, and then in the future it'll just be there to supplement the system, increase the fire protection, and additional storage for the area. As you mentioned, it was approved by the Planning Commission on September 9th. We do have 2 waivers, one being the amenities bond. I'll address that first. This is for a municipal authority, so the project was put out to bid. It was awarded to DN Tanks for $3.45 million. This greatly exceeds what would be required for the stormwater amenities bond for the bioretention pond on site. With the contractor's schedule of values, their cost to install the pond was like $120,000. Obviously, we well exceed this. We have a performance bond that was provided to the municipality for the full construction of the project. So that is the first waiver requested. The second waiver all has to do with the landscaping plan. Regarding the buffer of the 25-foot wide strip of trees, the buffer to the north with the housing development, and also the landscape architect seal. Currently, the landscape plan only involves low-level shrubs for the bioretention pond. In the municipality code 22051B2B, it says council may modify or waive the landscape standards if there's existing healthy vegetation that is sufficient to meet the requirements. Existing vegetation shall be used to meet all or part of the requirements of this section wherever possible. So this is the site plan. So to the right would be the north, and then also it would have been provided, I believe in the packet included to you, is the image of this, the aerial view. As you can see to the north there, there's already approximately 42 feet of pretty high, or pretty tall trees. They appear to be like 30, 40 feet. If you look at street view in that area, you don't see the existing tank. The only thing you see is that cell tower that is on the adjacent property. That cell tower looks like it's approximately 80 feet. You really don't see the tank. We're not requesting, all we're doing is adding a second one to the existing height of the, or proposed tank to match the existing height of the existing tank. And that's what we are proposing. I'm happy to answer any questions you have. But that's.
How long will it take to build the new tank?
So right now, the site contractor was hoping to get in the fall to do the site prep work, and then I believe it's about 6 months to build the tank. So with these approvals, we may push them to spring start with the site work, and then roughly a 5-6 month construction from that point. So we're hoping to be online like September of next year.
Will they connect at all for in the future if you need an overflow or for some reason?
Yes, so they will be the exact height, they will float, they will be tied together, they will both, once the rehab of the existing one's complete, so once we get the proposed one online, we'll take the existing one out. It may not be till 2027. Can't really do a lot of concrete repairs towards the winter, so depending on timelines. But once they are both in installation, you'll have 7.4 million gallons of storage in that area for the system. So.
Yeah, you kind of answered my question. I wasn't sure if this was like a tower, but it's going to be the same.
Yeah, it's exactly, well, it might be like 2 feet higher just because the way the grade goes. It drops down a little bit there, but the heights will match. Just the foot or the ground level of that is a little bit lower, I believe.
Yeah.
But the total heights will, or the overflow heights will match.
Can that road support the construction, the utility road there that goes?
The access road?
The access road?
If there's any repairs, the contractor will be required to keep it as the day they go on. Like, when we issue notice proceed, the conditions of the existing road, they will need to keep it in close to that condition. But at the end of the project, they will have to restore it to that area. There will be a lot of construction traffic on that, so it will get beaten down a little bit, but they will be required to repair it.
Mike, the location of this, where can you zoom out, like what road, where that sits?
Pull up another map.
I don't know that I've ever seen
that. One is still a standalone image here.
It's behind Lions Run, right?
Yeah, it's right off Lions. So that image right there, if you go to the right, that would be Lions Run right there.
Bear with me here.
I just included that.
So that's
image.
kind of between Lions Run and the Turnpike? No.
Towards Murraysville, I think.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's on that side of the street. Oh, Lions Run Road. Okay. Yeah, it comes out there. Okay.
Sorry, I got it here.
So do you actually physically take the old one down and away?
There we
or
go.
how do you remove it to repair it?
So basically, all we'll do is drain it. We'll shut the valve right outside the tank. So there's a separate drain line. So you shut the valve for the influent line, drain the existing one out the drain line, and then they'll go in, clean it, and then do any of the concrete repairs. We have a rough idea.
It's on site?
Yes.
Yeah.
We've had an ROV in there, so we know roughly some of the repairs, but once they get in there, they may need to do some more. So that's why we're roughly 3 to 4 months. We don't have exact, but
Got it. Thank you.
we can estimate.
It was off of PV Road, and then right off of Lions Run here is where the access is.
Okay. Any questions from council for the applicant? Anything at all? All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Let's do a vote on this. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. That motion passes. Nothing for engineering, public works, any old business, any new business? No executive session?
I had one, I'm sorry. I
All
had
right,
one
Jamie's
question.
got something.
If we go back to the comments from earlier when we were talking about the bridges, you had said it got reduced to 13 tons with a combination of 17 tons.
That's right.
So how much does your typical fire truck weigh? I mean, do they even go on that because the turn's so tight? I mean, they can't even get on that, right?
The pumper trucks go across there. I know that. We'll have to inform them, and they'll have to inform us back.
Yeah, I don't know that
And
often.
what their practice is going to be.
Sorry to look to you, Mayor, but I figured you had the expertise. I'm not quite sure of that answer.
I'm like calculating in my head, like,
Truck weighs 52,000 pounds.
yeah. That's all.
Because that ladder truck can't make that turn, but the pump trucks can.
Not going to be able to go over there now.
Yeah. Okay, no executive session, action items, one more motion.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right, we got Jamie and Jason. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, that closes the meeting.